Hi, everyone. Welcome to our spiritual sojourn. So happy you could join us today. Hi, Tom. We have a
Well,
visitor in the house today.
we do. I'm excited about it.
Yes. Be on your best behavior, okay?
Okay, sit up straight.
All right. So Amber Blandford is with us today, and I met Amber at the Golden Rock Shop. She and I do readings there on Fridays, and I thought it would be fun to have her on and talk about all the wonderful things that she does. Hi, Amber.
Hi, Lori. Hi, Tom. Thank you all for having me. It's so great to be here.
So glad you're here. So give us just a little blurb about who are you? What do you do? How'd you get here? Because you're
Yeah,
not from here. You're actually from someplace else.
I am from someplace else, a different dimension. So I'm Amber. I moved to Colorado back last summer from Santa Fe, New Mexico, but I've lived all over California and down in Atlanta, Georgia, originally from Louisville, Kentucky, Southern Indiana area. And I came to Colorado for a sense of expansion, expanding my business. And also I just felt like there were people here that I needed to know.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm here.
That's great. Of
Yeah.
of the places that you have lived, is Colorado one of the more spiritual, metaphysical places?
It's a really good question. I feel like they're all spiritual in different ways. This is the first time I've ever worked at a rock shop and, like done card readings for people, but I think that's more of like that's where I am in my journey right now.
Mhm.
Um, the Colorado is definitely a special place, but like I always think of Louisville as such a special place too, where I grew up. It's on a heart line and it's just really, really strong and really good. And I think without that foundation, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do intuitive readings as well as card readings?
Yeah, so I call myself an intuitive guide. I'm trained in a variety of different modalities and disciplines. So I started out in spiritual care. I used to work in hospice in the hospital world as a chaplain and bereavement coordinator. So I bring my spiritual care background to my intuitive and psychic gifts. So I'll do one-on-one sessions with people. I also do group readings and parties, things like that. And then I'm also trained in sound healing with the crystal singing bowls. I'm a registered yoga teacher. I'm a trauma specialist through HeartMath, and I think there's probably a couple other certifications that I have too. So I just kind of, I love to bring in really the physical, the mind, body, spirit all together into one. Jinshin Jitsu is something else that I'm trained in, which is the art of harmonizing the body. So sometimes I'll kind of just see someone and see, okay, like, oh, here's a little bit of tension, just energetically. And then I will download or get a particular hold or flow to do for people. And they can do it on themselves or I can do it for them.
Wow.
Interesting. Can
Yeah.
you talk a little more about the heart math? I find that fascinating. I think we did that a little bit. You used that with me one day, and it was really interesting and felt really good.
Yeah, so HeartMath has actually done decades of research, originally starting with trauma victims. So the ACE childhood uh, testing came from them. So whenever you have, like childhood trauma, they wanted to track like what's really happening in the body and how do we shift out of it. And the one thing to do, and this is big T trauma or little T trauma, is to focus on the heart and breathe in and out of the heart space. And then allow your breath to be slower and deeper than usual, and just to find a comfortable rhythm. And this is great to practice throughout the day. Anytime that you're feeling fatigued, anytime that you feel off or your emotions are wild, it's like, okay, let's come back to the heart. And, you can measure your heart. They have these devices, you can get them on your phone. You can measure your heart 3 feet in any direction. So we are like scientifically, we are constantly interacting with each other's fields, interacting with each other's hearts. And the more that we can control our own hearts, our own emotional vibrancy, the more that we can positively or negatively impact those around us.
Oh,
And so they have all kinds of techniques and skills to use to help people through it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So do you see those fields? Do you?
Yeah, sometimes I do. So I have a lot of clairvoyance, even more clairaudience. So sometimes and claircognizance too. So sometimes it is I see it, And then once I go there, then it's like, oh, okay, so here's a whole bunch of information about what you just saw.
Mhm.
Other times I'll just know, okay, like you could really use the spleen flow, or let's give ourselves a big hug, right? Because we have these little spots here, these safety energy locks number 26. And so when we hug ourselves like this, we're actually allowing ourselves to experience fulfillment and completion in the moment.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never heard that. That's something.
Yeah. So it comes from Japan, thousands of years of tradition.
Mhm.
Kind of they use the same meridians as acupressure and acupuncture, but instead of having to put a needle there, you can just hold yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you're standing in the grocery line and you see someone with maybe a field and that isn't quite right, or you're picking up on, are you able to maybe send them something or work with them even without them being aware of it?
It depends. I think I have pretty good boundaries, so I'm not as perceptive of all the things around me just for my own sanity. But sometimes there is something really strong, and I feel like in those moments when there is something really strong, that I'm being called towards it. And so depending on what it is, I might just send clearing energy, or I might just send a sense of radiance and love. Sometimes just forgiveness is needed in someone's field. And so in that way, I might just send a breath. And sometimes someone will be like, oh, it'll be a strong message. And if it's really a strong message, and I check them in multiple ways, like, are we sure you want me to go interact with this person? Then sometimes I'll deliver that too. Or I might just say, I hope your day's going to get better, where it's just kind of generic, but it's still just like a positive message. I also carry around these cute little squirrel stickers. And so sometimes I'll just go up to someone and ask them if they would like a squirrel sticker. And it usually throws them off, but they're like, sure, I'll take one. And so it's boosting that sense of connection and that sense of surprise and joy,
I
which
mean, who couldn't
elevates the
use a
heart.
squirrel sticker?
Right.
Yeah,
So it's just kind of a fun thing.
nice. Well, and what strikes me is too, it's just that acknowledgement in today's world. We pass people and don't even look at them, and somebody comes up and actually interacts with us. You just feel good after that, no matter
Absolutely.
what they do or say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you about the hospice situation. Uh,
Sure.
an intuitive such as yourself probably has some unique and fascinating experiences in hospice. Do you have one that comes to mind that you can share with us?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is actually when my mom was dying. So I wasn't working in hospice at that time. This was post-hospice years. And I had stayed in her room a couple of times just with her overnight because I knew her time was coming. And I just got this message to line up the chairs. And I'm like, okay. They're like, we need 5 chairs. I'm like, okay. And so I put 5 chairs kind of in a semicircle near the foot of her bed. And I thought like this is it. She's gonna die. Like family or angels or somebody, spirits are coming. Like this is it. She was actually on hospice. And what happened is that 5 different blue spirit energies landed on each of the chairs. Once I like sat down, I was like, okay, here are your chairs. It was just and they stayed with her. Really, I think just like holding space for her. And she was out, she was on meds and happy. And then I think she died 2 or 3 days later. But that was a pretty profound experience, even for me, as one who works in this world, to be like, wow, this is just so cool.
Gives me chills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. They were there for her. And I was supposed to see it too. This is before I was calling myself an intuitive guide or psychic.
Oh, okay.
Um, So I think I was supposed to have some of these experiences so that I felt more comfortable. I used to say, I don't want to be afraid. Like, please don't, even as a kid, like, don't freak me out. I know you all are around, but don't freak me out. I don't want to be scared. So I think this is just the way to be like, you're going to be okay. We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help.
right.
What a
Yeah.
good story.
Yeah. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Uh, You also do something, what do you call it? Something, it's a boot camp, decluttering, that when you help people clear out their clutter. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah,
And I
thank you.
know
I always forget about this part. Yeah.
well, and it's like your stuff, But is it also spiritual decluttering by any means?
Absolutely. Well, to me, everything helps everything and everything's connected. So anytime that we work in the physical body, right? If we go on a walk, where our emotions, our spirits are going to be lifted, right? And so the same when we clear out the clutter from our closets and cabinets and take out the trash, we feel lighter. And so actually after hospice, I decided to start my own professional organizing business when I was living in Atlanta. So I did that for a while and loved it. And so now because of the pandemic, I was given the opportunity to take some of the retreats I was doing in person and to do them online instead of just talking about everyone's gonna go home and declutter, right? We actually take 45 minutes to declutter our home. So actually this weekend starts my next decluttering retreat on action over perfectionism. So I find that a lot of people get stuck in terms of their decluttering goals. So either because they're perfectionists or because they just tend to procrastinate, right? And so by giving ourselves the set aside time, an hour and a half for 4 weeks, you actually get to notice some changes and then you feel better. And you're like, you know what? I didn't need this stuff and it's all going to be okay. And then when you keep going deeper, keep going deeper, keep going deeper, you find the loneliness, the depression, the things that were buried under the clutter
Yeah,
to begin with. And then we've got lots of tools and techniques for that too, right? So it's this beautiful process of letting go and then rebuilding.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know what you're talking about. I experienced some of that when I was moving in March because I was decluttering as I was getting ready to move. So getting rid of a lot of stuff. And and I do feel so much better. And now I look around and think, oh, there's more stuff I need to get rid of.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because once you start, it's like you keep noticing, oh, there's more. But I also feel it in that internal landscape as well, that I'm also decluttering that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you are, and it's real. And you
Yeah.
can start either way. You can start with the internal to be like,
Mhm.
okay, let me release some of the stress and worry about having so much stuff, right? Let me just release it out of my body. Or you can say, okay, let's release it out of my closet first, and then you'll feel lighter. So both complement each other.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you getting any kind of a message that you'd like to pass along to our audience or either Lori or me?
Let me just tune in here. Like right now, I'm just feeling this sense of a deep peace. And I think that's a message for anyone who will receive it, right? For all of us, just to like breathe, breathe,
Mm.
breathe, breathe. And allow yourself to feel peace in this moment. Even if your thoughts and feelings are somewhere else, just come to the present, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and allow yourself to feel peace.
I get the feeling you're way better at that than I am.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's all about mindfulness and it's coming back. It's return again.
Mhm.
Here we go. And to not make it wrong. If you're judging yourself, at least don't judge the judge.
Wow. Okay. That's profound.
Yes. You also work with different kinds of card decks, as I've observed at Golden. They're
Yes.
always beautiful and so very different. Can
Yeah.
you share a card with us?
Absolutely. So I have about 25 to 30 different card decks. And during my readings, either at the rock shop or in person or wherever I am one-on-one with folks, I'll get a sense of like which ones want to play. And so today, this is one of my favorites. This is the Sacred Forest. And Laura, you probably have seen this at
Yes.
the rock shop. This is one of my regular ones that always just wants to come. So we'll see what the Sacred Forest wants to share. So I'm clearing the deck. I always try to clear after I use it, but definitely before, just to kind of see. Do we have an intention or we just want to
Yeah,
shuffle and see?
whatever comes through. And I have a quick question before we do that. When you bought that deck, when you acquired it, did it jump off the shelf to you? Not physically, but
Mhm.
and,
Absolutely.
and
Those are the only ones I buy.
Right. And that was the point of that is I think people, if they go into a shop like that and find the decks, something will catch your attention. And that's the one you need to get.
Mhm.
And so it's
Yeah.
great that that's how that worked out for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find even if it catches my attention once, I don't always buy it right away. But then if it repeatedly comes up or comes back, or I hear someone talk about it, or I see a flash, like the colors look the same, I'm like, okay, I need to go back and get that thing.
Mhm.
It will haunt you. That's what I found, right? The things that you need
Yes.
return and return and return. It's like,
Yeah.
use me, pick me.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not so surprising. We have the owl spirit wisdom. It looks like this.
Oh,
Can you see it?
yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So birds have just been like really powerful this month. Well, in April into me. Um, and so I feel like the message here is like, remember that you have wings. Remember that the heart expands up and out through the arms. It's not just this little organ here, right? The idea is that we expand in every direction. So where is it that you want to go? So if we look at this card, both the owl is expanded and she's got these little butterfly wings on herself too.
Uh-huh.
Right. So it's like, where are we expanding? Where can we fly to? Where can we connect to? And the color red is also here too. So red is connected to our root. So things like financial security, stability, family, home, all these things are themes here. So is there something in your home that you would like to change or shake up or fly, expand? Is there something that wants to be let go? And then I'm also just looking at this card, really being drawn to the number. So the number is 27. And we know that 2 plus 7 is a 9. And this year of 2025 is a 9-year too. So the 9 is all about completion, right? So it's interesting that I was even showing you all this physical pose of completion. It's about completion and fulfillment and the ending of cycles. So how in your home life are you completing this cycle? And where can you draw wisdom in your completion, in your fulfillment?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of fun. Fun to play, fun to see. And then also, the forest is so present here because it's the forest deck, but just
Mhm.
another reminder that we are the trees. We are one with the trees. Go spend time with a tree, go hug a tree, go place your hand on a tree, connect to your natural roots,
Mhm.
Very
find that
cool.
peace through the roots.
Uh,
Right? And roots are the roots of the home and the ancestry. Like there's all kinds of symbolism and ways to play here.
yeah. Some people need to be grounded, and I mean physically grounded.
Mhm.
And literally just before this session started, I saw something come up on the internet that said if you just touch a tree, it will ground your entire body. And so funny that you should mention that. Maybe that needed to come out today for
Absolutely. It's
for
very simple.
yeah.
Yeah,
And sometimes we forget that just putting your feet on the ground is a thing. That
literally. And if you can't get outside, just put them on a rug or, you can even like shuffle your feet so you can feel your feet. We have all of these neurons there, these pathways.
Mhm.
Yeah, and trees are amazing. They actually will communicate with you. Yeah.
So have either of you had a message from a tree that stands out? 'Cause I'd be fascinated to know what that is. Do you remember one, or just is it a feeling in general? Tough question.
For me, I would say it's a feeling. There are certain trees where I feel drawn to. And sometimes I feel drawn to like give them a hug and to reassure them and to thank them for their service and to thank them for being there. Uh, it's rare that a tree has asked me for something. Rare. I don't even know if I can think of a situation. But I know that I do communicate with trees. I live near a nature preserve. So I think this is yesterday. I was walking and stopped, just like felt like I needed to stop in front of a dogwood tree. And so I just stopped and looked up at it. Like there were no birds in the tree. There was nothing going on. I just felt like I needed to stop. And so I did. And I looked up and just appreciated this beautiful blooming dogwood tree. And then all of a sudden I heard this like sound, and it was deeper than a normal like bird chirp, but it was like and I was like, what is that? And I looked up, and there's a falcon in the tree next to me. And as soon as I saw it, it kind of like ruffled its feathers, shook its wings out, which is interesting, right? This card shook it out, and then dropped one single feather, but the feather got stuck in the tree. And I was like, what is happening? I was like, if it is possible for me to have that feather, I would love to have it. And just then the wind picked up, and then all of a sudden, here it comes, a falcon feather right in front of my feet.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
So that's a tree experience, a recent one.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yes, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have lots of different offerings and things that you do for people. How can people find you?
So the best way to find me probably is on Instagram. I'm Joyful Spaces on Instagram, or my website is joyfulspaces.org.
Okay. And we mentioned you're at the Rock Shop every Friday.
Every Friday from 11 to 5 at the Golden Rock Shop, which is right downtown.
Can a person call ahead and get an appointment, or do they need to?
Absolutely, they can call ahead. I have regulars that actually make appointments. So yeah, please do
Good.
call ahead, or you can even book online. It's probably better if you call ahead. Sometimes
Okay.
online can be a little glitchy.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds terrific.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being our guest today. I know I learned a lot and I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you for having me. This is lovely.
Thank you so much.
So, if to our audience, if you have comments or questions for Amber, please put them in the comment section below and we'll make sure that she gets to see whatever questions or comments you have. And if you'd give us a like and a share and maybe even a subscription, we would appreciate that greatly. And if you have topics in mind that you'd like for a future episode, you can put those in the comments or in the posts section of our YouTube page. And lastly, if you'd like to get a hold of either Lori or me, you can find us at ourspiritualsojourn@gmail.com. And with that, I'd like to thank our guest, Amber, one more time. And thanks everybody for tuning in. See you next time.
Well, that was fun.